Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do another haul video for the month of February 2025. Let's get this show on the road. Let's start the haul strong with a box set release. This is from Fantagraphics, the Pokeland Complete Collection. This has both hardcovers in one slipcase here. I'm typically not a fan of box sets. I mean, they're great and all, but they are a little bit too cumbersome for me, and the lack of extras just doesn't appeal to me. However, when you have releases like this, you can't help but fall in love with the design of it. Fantagraphics knocked it out of the park. This is one of the most important releases that you can have here in English for a manga. This is by the legendary Moto Hagio and the Pokeland, which was instrumental and revolutionized shoujo storytelling in the manga space. The two hardcovers are beautifully constructed and the slipcase looks fantastic as well. This is a generational story of 3 vampires living out their lives across Europe between the 18th and 21st centuries. This is a series that I've always wanted to own, and I kind of forgot about it until recently, I think a month ago, when I saw that there was a red tag sale at InStockTrades.com and the Pokeland box set was there at 50% off. I had their loyalty discount, which added an extra 2%, so 52% off on this box set was insane. I couldn't pass that up, so I immediately grabbed it. I think it should still be available, but not at that discounted price. But still, for the discount where it's at right now, it is well worth it if you want a historically relevant, important manga that is also a fascinating read. Seriously, look at the art here, just masterful if you ask me, from one of the legendary creators of the medium. From Kodansha, we have 2 releases here. The first one, we have Thunder 3 Volume 2. I talked about Volume 1 recently and how much I loved it. I can't wait to continue the story. This second volume brings more of that intensity and some great fun twist to the story. I'm not going to reveal what happens in this one, but if you want to check out my first impressions video, it should be here on the channel as well. And we have a new release that I've been eyeing for a little bit. It is Drag Q by Chiyo Volume 1. This is a vampire story about a girl that is forbidden to fall in love with a human, but she can't help it. It turns out the boy is sort of a delinquent. So there's that love and violence to it that makes it for a very dramatic read. Also, the art looks absolutely beautiful if you ask me. From Yen Press, we have This Monster Wants to Eat Me Volume 3. I talked about Volume 1 not too long ago and how great that was. This is a horror-inspired Yuri girls' love series that I recommend, where you have the main character befriending this mysterious girl that happens to be a man-eating mermaid, and she wants to devour her new friend. Here we have Kowloon Generic Romance Volume 9. I am a couple volumes behind, but I'm really excited for the anime adaptation. I'm gonna try and catch up so that I can be in the know when the series starts airing. But this looks fantastic. I don't know the context of what I'm looking at here because, again, there's so much stuff coming out. Shows, movies, and games, and books to consume that it can all be a little bit stressful, to be honest. But I'm trying my hardest to keep up with stuff. Sometimes, not so much. In the case of Kowloon, I'm several volumes behind, but as of me posting this video, I am actively trying to catch up with all these series. And we have Hell is Dark with No Flowers, Volume 1. If you watched my recent first impressions video, I covered this one specifically. Phenomenal, dark mystery detective type story with a lot of yokai influences that I really recommend. It's a fascinating read, and I think you will dig it. If you are a fan of mystery stories with the supernatural, you'll be right at home with Hell is Dark with No Flowers. From 7 Seas Entertainment, we have My Dear Detective Mitsuko's Case Files Volume 2. I really enjoyed Volume 1. I thought it was a great detective type story with a wonderful protagonist. She is a shining example of perseverance and success. So yeah, if you like a good crime solving period piece, look no further than My Dear Detective. A Cat from Our World and the Forgotten Witch, Volume 4. We're one volume away from wrapping up this series, and I don't want it to end. It's so sweet, it's so funny, wholesome, and magical at the same time. How could you not fall in love with this adorable cat? He's isekai'd into this other world, and now he's this giant, cute beast that is making everybody's lives a little bit better by being there. I love me a good cat manga, and this is one of the best, in my honest opinion. Something not as wholesome and slightly perverted, but hey, what are you gonna do? Monster Marriage Shop Volume 2. I read Volume 1, I actually talked about it on the channel. I did like it, it's a lot of fun, it's silly, goofy, with a little spice sprinkled throughout, and this second volume continues that. I do like monster stories with like anthropomorphic animals and stuff like that, and this is sort of in my wheelhouse. If you ignore the matchmaking, pervertedness, and romance aspects to it, it's a lot of fun. It's a silly manga. Blast from the Past, well, actually from 2 years ago, I think. Box of Light Volume 3. When Volume 1 came out, people thought it was a one and done volume. I thought so as well. But then we got to solicit for Volume 2 and obviously Volume 3. So there's more stories to tell. This is what I call the indie manga about a convenience store set in limbo where people go there to potentially make their last purchase, figuratively or metaphorically, before they either pass on or go back to the world of the living. Really interesting concepts and just beautifully displayed, in my honest opinion. Give this a shot if you're looking for something different to read. Mysterious Disappearances Volume 4. I love this so much. I hope this is doing well. I am a big fan of Nujima's art style, and the art on this manga is great. I love the character designs and how it mixes contemporary mysteries with urban legends and folklore and the urban regions of Japan. And here we have Sawada and the House of Monsters Volume 4. I've not read Volume 3, or if I did, it's been so long that I need to go back and reread it. But this is a lovely series. If you like things like Witch Hat Atelier or Delicious in Dungeon, or those type of series where it combines fantasy aspects with wholesome healing storytelling, in this case house building for monster creatures, you'll be right at home with this. I love it so much. This story's fantastic and the art is spectacular. Alright, so next up we have a ton of Viz Media books. I did not plan to haul so much from Viz, it just happened. Let's start with these first. Here we have Magic the Gathering Destroy All Humans They Can't Be Regenerated Volume 1. This is a gift from a good friend, Tim. Thank you so much. I was not expecting it. He did me a solid and found another manga volume, which I'll talk about in a minute, and this came as an extra bonus goodie. I was not expecting it, and I am looking forward to reading this. I know about Magic the Gathering. I remember when it came out. I never got into it. I've never owned any of the cards. I don't think I ever played it. I watched my friends play it and they tried explaining it to me. It sounded very interesting, but I preferred anime, manga, and the occasional Pokemon TCG, if you will. I hear it's fantastic, and I can get behind the idea, the hype of a popular card game influencing a generation, and we see that through these fictional characters and how they live through the debut of Magic the Gathering. Plus, this has a limited card in the back, which is really awesome, so fingers crossed this becomes like a super desirable first printing collectible many years down the road. I say sarcastically because I know it won't, but still, it's very awesome that the first printings of these volumes have special cards inside. I don't know if the cards are special at all, but the act of it, I appreciate. That's pretty cool. It's been a minute, but I picked up another volume of Zom 100, volume 15. Now, I still have to go back. I don't own the first arc of the series because I had the first volume, loved it, and then the anime came out, watched the anime, which covered up to volume 6, and then just continued collecting the manga from there. From Shonen Jump, we have Dark Gathering Volume 11. I have no idea what's happening in here. I think I'm 2 or 3 volumes behind, but I'm looking forward to reading about this. Yeah, easily one of the scariest shonen manga you will ever read, with phenomenal characters. I love these guys so much here, and the creepy ghosts that appear are fantastically rendered. I love just the aesthetics and vibes that this manga gives. Do not read this in the middle of the night. You'll be spooked. Here it is, more Dandadan. I had some trouble acquiring these volumes. Volume 5 specifically was out of stock everywhere. I don't know if it came back, but at the time when I got this, it was nearly impossible to grab. And locally, I don't have a lot of options. I don't have a Barnes & Nobles. I don't have X or Y store that you might go to. So I'm relying on the internet most of the time. Fortunately, my friend Tim, who gifted me the Magic the Gathering manga, offered to grab this book for me and actually ended up gifting me volume 5. So that was a very sweet gesture and I truly appreciate it. Now I can continue reading Dandadan because I only had the first 4 volumes. But as you're seeing here, obviously, I went ahead and picked up 6, 7, and 8. So I'm on my way to catching up with all of you Dandadan super fans out there. QQ Sweeper Volume 1. As of me recording this, I did get the other 2, but they did not arrive in time. I know about the sequel, Queen's Quality, which just recently ended, and how beloved that series has been for a decade. So yeah, this has been on my radar for a bit, and I finally pulled the trigger. I've talked about it in the past. I'm not actively collecting them. This is just like randomly I'll grab a volume or 2 until I complete the series. Banana Fish. Here we have volume 4 and 5. Hopefully we can finish off this series in 2025 and not prolong the collecting of it any further. But really excited to have more of this one. Now with Snow White with the red hair, I know a little bit more of it because I watched the anime adaptation. I really liked it and decided to continue getting the story via the manga. So here we have volume 5. I believe 6 was the last thing that got adapted into the show, if I remember correctly. So after that, it's going to be brand new territory. But regardless, this is a really cool, great series that I do recommend. In the Name of the Mermaid Princess Volume 5, we are 2 volumes away from finishing this one. I've held reading new volumes as they come out because I want to do a binge read and potentially do a little deep dive on it and potentially hook you guys on a series that you may or may not be aware of. Firefly Wedding Volume 1. I recently talked about Volume 1 alongside Hell is Dark with No Flowers, First Impressions, which I'd like to do on this channel. I really enjoyed the art on this one, and the story's fun as well. Lovely release, one to look out for that I do recommend. It's a dark horse release, no pun intended, for 2025. We have volume 2 of Otaku Vampire's Love Bite. I can't wait to continue this one. Really loved volume 1. The main character is such a delight, extremely wholesome, hilarious, and kind of a badass. Hidden within the otaku-ness is a really awesome vampire. Here we have Red River Volume 2 of the new Omnibus 3-in-1s. This collects volumes 4, 5, and 6. If you've seen my Ashitano Joe video where I go and say like, what makes this so special? I want to do one with Red River because it is one of those legendary Shojo series that have been recommended for years, and thankfully Viz listened and reprinted this. So I do want to go and read this and review it for you guys, so stay tuned for that. And to finish off this manga haul, we have Colette Decides to Die Volume 2, obviously collecting volumes 4, 5, and 6 as well. I reviewed Volume 1, or talked about it, not too long ago. One of the last videos of 2024, actually. I really enjoyed it. It's awesome. Super relaxing, wholesome, with a wonderful lead character and a great message of self-care that I think is needed, especially in today's world that is so hectic and filled with such mental struggles. I think reading a series like Colette is a breath of fresh air that you might want to go ahead and pick it up. I wholeheartedly recommend it. Go in blind. You're going to have a fun time with it. So there it is. Not the biggest haul that I've done, but I think it is one with more quality over quantity, if you ask me. I'm looking forward to reading all these books and potentially talking about them with you guys. If you've read any of these series before, let me know in the comments section, and recommend me some other stuff you think I should get and read and review and all that fun stuff. I'm always down for more awesome recommendations from you wonderful people. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and being a part of Manga Geekdom. We have a Discord server. The link is in the description below. And if you want to chip in and help out the channel, you can become a member. That link is also down below. All right, that's going to be it. I gotta go. God bless. Stay safe out there. I will catch all of you on the next one.